Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Menacole O'Sullivan, and I am a student of wealth. I look around and I see people who uh, are living happy, successful lives, and you have majority of people who are always struggling and running low on funds. And there is quite a difference in the mindset of the two sets of people. And just like if you want to be a lawyer, you study law. If you want to be a doctor, you study medicine. If you want to be wealthy, study wealth. And there's nothing wrong with being wealthy. So if you're open-minded and you would love to join me along for the ride and become a student of wealth with the goal of having whatever you learn benefit you, welcome. It's a pleasure having you. And just wanted to start off by sharing a thought from Proverbs 21 and 5. It says, "The plans of the diligent surely lead to success. The plans of the diligent surely lead to success." And a diligent person is somebody who goes the extra mile to find things out and then apply them and then benefit from them. And so that's one of the things that I just wanted to share with you. It's important to have plans for success in life. If we're just going somewhere and we don't have a clue how to get there, you need some kind of way that will build a degree of confidence so you can get there. In our current world, you have cell phones now. You don't have to be worrying with paper maps anymore, or even in the cars, the little dashboards, a lot of times they get outdated and they need updating. Well, the cell phones are mostly up to date. So if you need to get to a destination you've never been before, trusting it's within your country and you don't have to go overseas, it's easy to find it out and then have the driving directions in audio sometimes so that you don't have to be looking down on the screen or looking at the screen constantly. You can use that, but also have the audio to help to guide you. And with any undertaking in life, the goal is to have the desired result, right? So you have to have a goal. You have to have a goal. That's one of the main starting points with anything. And it could be an idea, it could be a desire. It has to be something that you want, and you have to want it bad enough or want it strongly enough to do what is needed to keep at it until you accomplish your goal. This is a little book, a little coloring book, something to pass the time with that I just happened to be looking through it and I found something in here. It has little quotes as you're coloring and so on. And there were a few quotes in here that caught my attention, but one really, really resonated with me that I'd love to share with you right now. It says, "The reason most people never reach their goals is that they don't define them or ever seriously consider them as believable or achievable. Winners can tell you where they're going, what they plan to do along the way, and who will be sharing the adventure with them." So they know what they want, they know where they're going, they know what they plan to do on the route or on the journey, and who they want to share that adventure with. So if you're a like-minded person like me on my journey in the study of wealth so that I can make better financial decisions, and if that's a goal that you have and you would love to raise your awareness along the journey and explore and become better and better, I'd love to share that adventure with you. I'd love to share that adventure with you. And so, one of the things that we're going to start out by is defining a goal that you have. And if you have a specific financial goal in mind, wonderful. I have one in mind. I'd encourage you to pick a goal that you are going after, and that will be help to be like a guidepost. So you'll have milestones along the way towards your goal. And as we accomplish goals, they change as we grow, right? So the main thing is once you've set that goal, you gotta be expectant. You gotta actually expect to achieve it, right? And be confident and optimistic. So you got to be expectant, confident, and optimistic that yes, this goal that I've set, I'm going after it, I'm going to get it. And I have faith that whatever comes along the way, I will be able to surmount those to be successful. Another way to strengthen your faith as you go after your goals is to keep your enthusiasm strong. There's different ways to keep our enthusiasm strong. When we're in motion, if you go for a walk, if you're constantly um, raising your awareness through books, through videos like these, through anything that puts you in a good frame of mind, in a happy mode, in a serene, peaceful place. That's where you want to position yourself. So if you feel you're feeling low, we're all human. There will be days where you feel like you got the funk. That's when you just get up and you shift it. You turn on some nice music. You go for a walk. You do something to shift your energy right away so that you stay in a positive vibration. Then you also want to charge your mind with interest, enthusiasm, and ambition. So, say you have this goal of achieving X, that's your ambition, right? You're going after this thing. Well, you have to charge your mind with interest and enthusiasm. It's got to be something you want. And when you want it, the interest, it's easier to hold that interest. When it's a strong desire, then you keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And the more you nurture that desire, the stronger that interest becomes. And then you start thinking, well, how could I make that real? What could I do? How could I go about it? And those things will also help. Another thing that you may want to do is to keep your ambition and aspiration high. So when you have a goal and the goal is something that stretches you, you have to do something different to reach it. Because if you were doing the same things, you would have hit it already, right? And to do that, you need to cultivate patience and perseverance because there may be some things that you will need to overcome um, while you're going after that goal. So patience and perseverance, the patience to stick it out until you've accomplished what you want, and the perseverance to keep trying, to keep going at it, to not lose interest, to not give up, to not get distracted, right? So you definitely need um, to keep that ambition and aspiration high and then cultivate patience and perseverance. Another thing that you're going to want to do in your pursuit of your goals is to keep your imagination centered in what you want and to keep your faith moving toward it. So let's go back to that goal. You have a specific goal. We'll pick a money goal. We're talking about the study of wealth and prosperity. And there's many ways to define that. I believe in being holistic. So being balanced, having good friends, good relationships, all of that contribute to our wealth and our well-being. Let's say we pick a specific dollar value and we have that. Well, to keep your imagination centered in what you want, it may be nice to have visual clues around the place, whether it's a goal card, whether it's something that you can see often. Our minds, we're visual creatures as long as we have the gift of sight, right? If you don't have the gift of sight, that there are other blessings that God give us to compensate for that. But if you have the gift of sight, that's a very powerful gift, very stimulating gift. Because when we see something, then our desire for it starts to grow, right? Especially if it's something that reminds us of something that's desirable, that we'd love, right? So you keep your faith moving toward that goal. Yes, I can achieve it. Yes, I can do that. Then the next thing is to keep your consciousness expanding, growing, and moving to higher levels. How do you do that? How do you keep your consciousness expanding, growing, and moving to higher levels? Well, by what you feed your mind. Our consciousness comes from our thoughts, right? And whatever thoughts have been impressed on our minds from childhood until now defines our behavior, defines our actions, defines our emotions, right? So if we want a different result, we need to start planting new seeds of ideas in our mind. And we do that by reading, by association, by the things that we allow into our mental space. TVs, movies, videos, songs, all these different things affect how we um, expand our consciousness, right? So look for things that will upbuild you. And I know sometimes, you might be looking for something and you see this juicy thing that you're like, oh, what's that about? And this can be distracting. But this is where the power of focus also comes in because we are all easily distracted. How well we train ourselves will help with minimizing those distractions or self-correction as we find ourselves. Nope, nope, I'm going here. So be positive in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. That's a must. That's a must to stay in the right frame of mind. That's a must to accomplish your goals and be productive. When you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, there's no energy to do anything. You want to isolate yourself. Then you don't want to do anything. Then you're stuck in this mode of meh, blah. You don't want that feeling. Shake it off. Shake it up. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So you definitely want to stay positive in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Another thing that will help to build your faith towards your goal is to accentuate the positive in every situation. Accentuate the positive in every situation. You wanted to get to a certain place by a certain time and you missed it. Okay, well, what's positive about that? You're still here. You're still alive. Maybe something happened along the way. Can you still get what you want? Yes. Something may not have worked out the way you wanted to. Can you change it? Sure, you can if you look hard enough. So accentuate the positive in every single situation. Never allow yourself to dwell upon misery or sickness. Never allow yourself to dwell upon operations, to dwell upon symptoms, to dwell upon reverses, misfortunes, or bad luck. All of us at some point in time go through a phase where we feel like things didn't quite go the way I wanted, or you invest in something, or you take a risk and it goes the negative way that you want it to go. It goes in reverse. Do you stay stuck? Do you keep blaming yourself? Oh, I should have never done this. Oh, I should have never done that. It's a part of the growth. It's a part of the growth. It's very encouraging when I come across the quote from Edison, the inventor of the light bulb that we use now, because back in the 1800s and up until he invented the light bulb or figured out how to do it properly, we were using candles, and candles go so far. You know what I mean? Just for a little bit of light, right? Uh, so it was 10,000 times that he tried different ways to get the light bulb to work. So the man was doing all these things and writing down how many times he was doing it. Most of us don't write down how many times. Like, okay, we might keep track up here. Oh, I done that already, doesn't work. I tried again, doesn't work. So maybe after the third try, you're like, screw that, forget it, I'm done. Hmm? This dude was at it 10,000 times. And it's after the 10,000th time, boom, idea came. But he sat and tracked down 10,000. I have to give him credit for that. I don't think I've ever written down how many times I've tried something. So that also teaches me a lesson that maybe I can learn something from Edison, right? Because he became a multimillionaire. And not just the fact of that, he invented so many things that produce such benefit for others, right? Even today, he's long and gone, but we are still living off the benefits of his persistence. He never focused on what he thought was a misfortune. He went about things in a curious way. Okay, this is one, number one doesn't work. Okay, let's try two. And he's keeping track. He's keeping track. So that's something I think would be a good thing to add to our awareness. Okay, let me keep track of doing this activity and let me see what happened. Okay, I tried it this way. And I write down the way I tried so that when I try another way, I'll see what the difference is between the two ways. Ah, good thing there. So it says accentuate the positive in every situation. Another thing that we want to do is to never depreciate or criticize or speak poorly of yourself. It doesn't serve us. And sometimes the ideas or the thoughts in our mind, we might wonder what someone else think about us and condemn ourselves because we think somebody may have a low opinion of us. Don't do that. Don't dwell on your mistakes. And anything you've done, and yes, maybe you've disappointed someone in the future, but if you have a goal or you broke a trust and you have a goal of restoring that, focus on the good that you're trying to do. And then if the goal is to go back and recreate that trust, focus on that. Focus on that because sometimes when we go through things, we might feel like our hands are tied in what we want to do. We have this big desire, but our current circumstance limits us. And so you don't give up the desire. You keep working for ways to accomplish the desire and get over the circumstance, right? So it says never depreciate, criticize, minimize, or speak disparagingly of yourself. You don't want to do that. You don't want to dwell on your mistakes. Think always of yourself as growing, expanding, and becoming more efficient, more resourceful, more dynamic. So I'm going through these steps on ways to build faith to get us in the right frame of mind as we go on this journey of studying wealth, of studying prosperity. How the mindset has a lot to do with what's accomplished. You need the right mindset. So it says also think, and what I'm going through is an excerpt from the book God Works Through Faith. I think his name is Russell Conwell. I loved the list. So I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna apply that in a lot of ways. So you want to think of yourself as growing, as expanding, as becoming more efficient, resourceful, and dynamic. Okay. You also want to look for the good in everything and everybody. Look for the good in everything and everybody. Refuse to recognize anything but the good. And there are times if somebody rub you the wrong way that you don't want to look at any good. You kind of want to revel in being pissed off for a while or upset for a while. But you want to focus on the good. Focus on the good. Seek the best of everything and know that your mind will produce it. Seek the best of everything. I think we all want the best of everything. But wanting something and seeking it out are two different things. You know, when you study nature and you look at the birds, for example, everybody has a desire to eat. Every living creature has a desire to eat or to fill the need for fulfillment. Even plants, they stretch their roots for nutrients. Birds, people, we've got to fill our little tummies to keep our energy level up. Well, you notice with the birds, even though the desire for food is there, God doesn't put the worm in the nest. And the worm isn't falling from the sky. Actually, the worm is down on the ground. So there's a bit of effort involved. There's a bit of effort involved. So even when you want the best, you've got to seek it out. You've got to seek it out. So you got to seek the best of everything and know that your mind will produce it. It's not a guessing game. There's a scripture in Matthew where it says, I think it's Matthew 7:7. Knock and you shall find, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be open. So when you seek the best, you will find the best. Anything you seek, you will find it. And a lot of it has to do with perception. So we want to train our minds in the right way. Another thing is to think in large terms. The more you expect, the more your faith will bring to you. So if you have a secret desire for a certain goal, write down the secret desire. Don't settle. Write it down, nurture it. And if it's just for you right now, it's okay. Keep it in your wallet, keep it somewhere where only your eyes will find it. And you look at it and yes, but think in large terms. The more you expect, the more your faith will bring to you. Convince your mind that what you seek is already here. It is done. It is done. It is yours now. And then when you do that, you then say, thank you. You give our creator who made us and provide us with every good gift. Just walk around telling him thanks. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because it is done. It is done. A long time ago, I think The Secret, the movie, came out. And if you're not sure, you can always go on YouTube here and check out The Secret. Type The Secret. Um, it's very viral. The Secret came out, and there's a scene in The Secret where the lady had cancer, or she was diagnosed with cancer. And then she said, oh, I just considered myself healed in my heart. And I didn't put any stress on myself. I just watched funny movies all day long. And I just kept saying, thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. I came across The Secret in 2006. We are at the cusp of 2025 right now. So that's almost 19 years ago that I was exposed to that. I've watched it a few times since then. But that little scene where she said, oh, I just kept saying, thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. So it's the same here. When you convince your mind that what you're seeking, you've already found it, that it's already here, then you just focus on the thank you part. And you know, the funny thing is with that lady, after she got diagnosed and after she started thanking God for her healing and after she started doing these things, by the time she went for the chemo surgery, she was completely healed. Her faith in being healed was so strong that that's all she focused on. That was it. And she put herself in a happy state. For her, it was the funny movies. And whatever would make her happy, she focused on that. So to be creative, to be successful, we've got to be in a positive mindset because that frees up our energy. It gives us the fuel that we need. And anytime anything comes in your zone, in your space, whether it's mental space, physical space, aura, just do whatever you can to just shift that to get you over to the positive side. Just do it. Just do it. And convince your mind that what you seek is already here, that it's yours now, and then you just start giving thanks for it. You also want to train your mind to think in terms of abundance. Never allow it to dwell on lack or limitation in any form whatsoever. So if you're worried about not having enough time for this, not having enough time for that, switch that. Time expands to meet and exceed my needs. Time expands to meet and exceed my needs. Thank you, Father, for blessing me with all the time I need to get everything I need done. And we are in a culture where we're pressed for time. And this is something that I'm also working on because sometimes you have such a big list of things you're trying to get done. And the slightest shift could affect that, right? So it says here, we've got to train our mind to think in terms of abundance and to never dwell upon lack or limitation in any form, whether it's time, money, resources, support. You put the label on it, but instead focus on abundance. There's an abundance of time. I have all the time I need. Time expands and contracts to meet and exceed my needs. If you need something done faster, then you need to contract it. Time expands and contracts to meet and exceed my needs. I have all the money and resources and support that I need to achieve my goals. And you internalize that and you repeat it over and over and over and accept it mentally. You also want to stimulate your faculties and talents by increasing your demands upon them. What do we mean by that? Stimulate your faculties and talents. We're all blessed with a gift. Every single one of us, we have unique features that identify us, and we are blessed by our Creator with a gift and with specific talents. Well, the painter becomes better at painting by painting more and more and more. The gymnast, Simone Biles, gets excellent at it by practicing more and more and more. Taylor Swift became Taylor Swift from practicing over and over and over. The same for all the other famous people that we know about, because they stimulated their talents and they increased their demands upon them. So we need to do the same. We need to do the same. So whatever talent you have or I have, as we stimulate and increase our demands on them, we get more out of them. When you meet trouble of any kind, refuse to be worried or disturbed by it. Know that you're bigger than any adverse thing that happens to you and have the power to overcome it. You also want to meet every problem with the conviction that it's already solved. See it as an opportunity to prove God. And this is a big one. Challenge comes along. It's weighing you down. Isn't it nice to know you can roll that up to a higher power and actually have a little bit of relief? And as you stay expectant, confident, and optimistic, you look for how God works to help solve that problem. We have that. We have that. And the beautiful thing is you don't need a cell phone plan to get access to God. You don't need internet to access God. Prayer, thoughts. It's one of the fastest things to transmit, the fastest way to get a response. And you just look for the response and you just keep saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, as you keep your eye out. So meet every problem with the conviction that it's already solved. See it as an opportunity to prove God. But you got to do your part. You don't just sit around. You ask for God's help and then you take action in alignment with that. Okay? Then you want to face every difficulty with courage, strength, fortitude, and determined to turn it to good account. Face every difficulty with courage, strength, and fortitude, and determined to turn it to good account. Know that you have the power to adjust anything, change anything, correct anything, overcome any single thing, or subdue anything. You have that power. And you want to always act with the truth. Never allow yourself to compromise with evil. Somebody rubs you the wrong way. Yes, it's tempting to take revenge. Don't focus on the negative energy. If the truth is to make you free, you must rely upon it. You must pass from belief to trust. Yes, you believe God can help you, then trust him. Trust him and consider it done. Okay? And then you want to believe the unbelievable. Why? Because God goes all out for you when you go all out for God. So if you want to build your faith, build your confidence, listen to this over and over again. If you are looking for ways to expand your income, go over to extradailypay.com, check it out. Extradailypay.com, check it out. I'll also include the link to that site in the description, so you can go and check that out. That's just one of many ways to make it increase your income, right? But with that, you get a step-by-step guide on what to do. So if you're willing to learn and grow, that's an excellent way to do that. And it teaches you how to do that online. Okay. So we're at time for today, but I just want to leave you with this. What you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. We're literally at December 31st, 2024 today. Let's focus on some good things in the hours and the days ahead so that we can reap the rewards of those great thoughts, expand them, make them bigger, better, and brighter. I'm wishing you much success for the rest of 2024, going into 2025 and beyond. Thank you for tuning in.